Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am here today with an amazing stunt coordinator that my great friend Brad Grunberg worked with, and we're here to talk about what happened on the Rust set and what happens on every set we're working with weapons. So, Brad, do you want to introduce Eric?
Yes, this is one of the good guys in life. There's no coincidence in life because I walked onto the Curb Your Enthusiasm set and I met Eric Ade, the greatest guy in the world. He protected me. He watched after me. He's just one of the best guys I've ever met. I'm so blessed to have him in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Ade. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how you doing? My phone
Good,
is
man.
blowing up right now because everyone's asking me about what happened on set. Like I would know firsthand, like I was there. I wasn't there, but I definitely know what can take place. People think that because it's a I don't know if you want to jump right into it, but people think
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because it's a blank gun, it's safe. No. Blanks, when I have anyone firing blanks at anyone, I always tell them to just be off of target, off to the right of them, make sure there's no one there because blanks can still kill you, especially if they're up close. Like, if you don't want to technically be within 6 feet of a blank being shot at you up close, a blank can absolutely kill you. That's what happened to Brandon Lee. That's what happened to that guy up in Australia. That's what happened to the guy in '84 on this movie where he thought it was
Oh,
cute to pull the gun right
right.
on the side of his head.
Yes,
So you
yes,
don't
yes.
technically want to be with any kind of blanks within 6 feet of it at all within 6 feet, because you can definitely get killed, um, or hurt. And obviously, there's no reason. I'm people are going to disagree with me on this, but I don't think there's any reason to use blanks whatsoever on set anymore, because that's a risk. It's like eating blowfish. I mean, there's a chance something bad can happen, as is what happened yesterday. We have a CGI world where you can make all the guns sound and look real. There's no reason to use blanks anymore, and I don't understand why they're still doing it. I'm hoping that this will completely be enough and change the game. But from what I understand, it was an unsafe set. People were complaining about all kinds of safety protocols, and a problem with movies like that where no one really cares about safety. You're playing Russian roulette too many times, and obviously, it finally caught up to them. I mean, it's terrible what happened, and it completely upsets me when anyone gets hurt or killed on set whatsoever, especially when it could have been avoided. Because bottom line, we're not curing cancer. We're making a make believe movie or show, or whatever reason. There's no reason whatsoever that anyone should ever get hurt, especially killed on any kind of movie set, when it's completely avoidable.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a movie, for crying out loud. I mean, who cares, right? I mean, safety is paramount. I remember,
Exactly.
listen, you're listen, on Curb Your Enthusiasm, where I met Eric, he protected me, he watched after me, and you got to be so careful. Even the littlest stunt could injure anybody terribly, right? I mean, it could be without guns. I mean, falls,
Yeah.
anything.
I
I
got
mean, that's the
I,
most
I
amazing
got
thing,
injured on
and
your
that's why you're
show.
there to watch that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember a movie I
I
did
got injured on your show
with.
because
Yeah. No, no, go ahead. What were you going to say? Sorry.
remember they pulled the pad at the last second, and
I
then I
remember that.
jacked all my
Yes.
fingers up.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Yes.
see,
They
when they
pulled the
start
pad. I
changing
know.
things
I
at the
know.
last second too, that's how people get hurt. They're like, oh, it's looking a little too fake, or we're seeing this, and at the end of the day, it's that's a bad way to be, because
You
they're
can always,
basically saying the shot's more important than my safety.
right. And you can always cheat it. It's always, I mean, I can tell you a million stories of stuff that I've
Yes.
done. I was in a movie with Judd Nelson and Seymour Cassell, and they put a gun to the back of my head, but it was
I
a
know,
gun.
Judd.
They put a little
Yeah.
light at the end of it. So when they pulled it, it looked like it went off. And then, like you said, CGI, then they had a tube up my shirt where I was eating a sandwich. Hello, that's not a surprise. And the sandwich blew up, right? But it
And
was
they
the
pushed
air
it.
that blew it up and the little light, and it
Yeah.
looked great. But there was no blanks, no nothing. It was just a little light at the end of the gun. So all this stuff can be fixed, and they can cheat anything, right? Even now with all the CGI, anything can be
Yeah.
done.
Oh, even easier now. Even easier now. There's no reason for. First of all, if they wanted him shooting at the camera, sure, shoot at the camera, but move everyone away from it. That's what Video Village is for. That's what tripods are
Right.
for. There's no reason to have
Yeah.
people in front of the gun whatsoever. I was on the set training day right before, like literally right before Bill Paxton died, and he was just the greatest guy. But
Oh,
the other lead
Uh,
on the show was this younger guy, and they gave him real guns. And while he was pointing the gun at me, like between takes, like he's got the gun, he just goes click click click, and I went off on him. Like and people and I might have overreacted, but also I didn't overreact because I was like, you don't do that. First off, he didn't clear the chambers with me, so I don't know what's inside that gun whatsoever. And I'm paranoid when it comes to stuff like that because it's my job to be everyone's dad on set. When I'm on set, that's how I look at my job. And I'd rather people be annoyed with me than get hurt doing stupid crap because it's always that one thing you don't see coming that's going to get you hurt. So when this guy pulled the trigger at me, I went off on him. And you know what was cool though was that other people on set were like, yeah, you don't do that. So no one got mad at me for going off on him. They actually got on him because you don't play
right.
with guns ever. And even fake guns, I go around set and I show everyone, hey, this is what you have, and I'll empty it and show everyone regardless of
That's how
anyone
they do
telling
it.
me this. And I think that's how they need to do it. And when they start rushing things, that's when people get hurt. I have this scar on the side of my head. I don't know if you can see it. Well, my hair is growing over it. But I tell everyone this was a very unnecessary take 3. And it was when they were rushing us. I was crashing through a fence and a nail came out and just ripped my scalp
Uh,
back.
uh,
And it's because of this scar that I have now on the top of my head that I will slow things down. And like when they start rushing us, I go, look, this was an unnecessary take 3 and we were rushed. All right, let's slow it down. I don't want to get hurt again.
I totally agree. And by the way, the gentleman, a wonderful actor in the '80s, was John Eric Hexum. That was his name. I just want to send our prayers to this wonderful woman who lost her life yesterday. It's just horrible, and of course Brandon Lee too. It just doesn't have to happen. We have to learn from these horrible tragedies, right, Eric? Right, buddy? We just got to learn from all these tragedies.
Yeah, 100% need to learn from it. I mean, accidents will happen, but it's a stunt coordinator's job and everyone else's job on set that if something seems dangerous, to say something, to speak up. I speak up all the time, and it's gotten me, I don't know, a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths because I'm the guy on set going, why are we doing it this way? Hey, Eric, can you shut up? No, I'm curious because I'm confused. And if I'm confused, we got a problem because I pay attention to everything on set. That's my job. And I'm there to, do a good job. And I want the scene to look crazy good, because if it looks good, then I look good. But I don't want it to be dangerous for anyone. And if someone gets hurt on set, I take that up. I take that up personally because I feel like I could have and should have helped avoid it.
Absolutely. No, it's
I,
only a movie. Who cares if the meal penalty or we're running behind? Who gives a crap? Safety.
the producers.
Want to
The
go home.
yeah.
producers. The producers are always like, go, 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 go. They don't care.
But I remember,
I've
Brad,
had
when
producers
I
yell at
first
people.
Yeah.
when I first worked with prop
I'm
weapons,
sorry, go ahead.
Brad gave me the lecture. Don't point it at anyone. Make sure the chambers. He got on the phone with me and gave me this whole speech. And I wouldn't have known any of these things if Brad didn't call me up. So I'm so grateful to have a friend who's done this before, who kind of like when I first had to get a blank shot at me, was like, Lauren, make sure you do this X, Y, and Z. Like it's a very serious thing. And even, a few months ago, I did a movie where I had to shoot prop weapons, and just now hearing this, I'm like, I don't want to work with blanks ever again. I'm scared of them.
Yeah.
I don't.
I hate blanks. I hate blanks. I've coordinated a couple pilots, and I had one where I had real cops on there, and they wanted the cops just to go off on the guys. And I told all the cops, hey, do not point at him. I want you to point way over here. And I went and stood exactly where I wanted him to point, which was way off. And the director was like, it's going to look like shit. And this, and I go, that's what your editor's for. Don't worry. It's going to, we're going to give you the tools to use, but you can edit it to look any way you fucking want it to look,
Yep.
But
that's it.
It's upsetting when someone gets hurt on set. And I think everyone in the stunt community, especially, just it affects all of us because at the end of the day, it's all of our jobs as stunt professionals to avoid crap like that. I feel terrible for Alan Graff because he was coordinating it, from what I understand, and I would hate to be in his shoes. I would love to know more details about, now that I heard that it was an unsafe set and people were being jerks. Because like I'm not a fan of Baldwin's. I'm not a fan of his, but I feel terrible for the guy because he must feel
I
like
feel so bad
shit
for
Yeah.
him.
right now.
Yeah, poor.
Um,
Like,
It's the
yeah, like
worst thing ever that anyone could have. And I saw his tweets. He tweeted, and I saw the picture of him they posted after, and I feel horrible for him. No one should have to go through, especially an
yeah.
actor, because we don't, we're just thinking of the character, and then that something like that happens. He's definitely
Like, how do you go on after that? I don't. If I kill someone on set, man, I'm done. I'm never working again. Not because I'm worried about my job. No, because I don't. I mean, I don't want to be that guy. That would be the worst. You just
you
took
have
a
to
life
live
on
with
set. Holy shit.
live with that for
Because-
the rest of your life. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like, I don't know, you become an alcoholic or a recluse or whatever. But my God, that guilt.
It's just
wanna
horrible.
walk
let's all say our prayers for
Yes.
for the DP and the director. Just awful, the whole entire set and the crew, and especially Alec Baldwin. And it's horrible. She was a mother. She was I think just recently
Yeah.
married, and I
Married.
know
Yeah.
she was friends with a lot of my friends. She was supposed to work on a movie that I worked on. My friend Adam was going to have. She was supposed to DP while he got wasted, and it's just like, I'm like, oh, I could have almost, and then she was also taking acting classes with my friend Joseph Reitman. So it's like, there's so many degrees of separation, and she seemed like she was really
I know Joe.
in the business. Oh, you know Joe? Yeah.
Joe. We all know Joe's great.
He wanted to live here. He would have been living in this room had it been ready, actually.
Oh my
But
God,
he
that
was
would have been
coaching
amazing.
people, out
Oh
here
my
in Georgia.
gosh.
No, I've known Joe for forever because of poker.
Oh, he's a
Oh.
We'll get into that. Yeah, we'll get into that. Well, can you just give us some
He's a
final
poker player.
words?
I've known him for
Yeah.
because of poker.
Can you give us some final words on? I just wanted to say, in the memory of this wonderful woman, can we change things so this never happens again? So her life and her loss is not in vain. Do you agree, Eric?
I truly, honestly, I think this. I hope to God this will be the turning point, that we never use blanks again, especially when pointing at anyone. I mean, if you want to go shoot for like scenes where there's no one 100% in front of it, but there should be a new law implemented in the stunt industry, not the stunt industry, but the Hollywood industry, ASAP, that no one is allowed to be absolute in front of a prop gun when it's being fired, ever. It's either CGI or nothing. There's no reason for it, especially in this day and age, because that's lazy and it's dangerous. And because of laziness, a woman, a young woman was murdered, and her whole life is done. And it was for what? A movie that probably now won't even be completed.
Yep.
It's
Amen.
So basically, it was
Yeah,
nothing. It was for nothing.
Very sad. Very, very sad. Eric Audet, thank you so much for coming on. What's your social media in case anyone wants to reach out or follow you?
No one's gonna want to follow me. It's at Eric Audet. No, there's no reason to follow me.
Yes,
There's no
there
reason to
is.
follow me. Unless you're just bored and you want to feel better about your life, you come follow me and know a little bit about my past, and you'll be like, oh. I guess I thought I was having a bad day, but then I look at this guy. At Eric Audet on Instagram.
Okay, great.
Great.
Thank you, Eric, so much.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Eric. We're going to talk about this more on my Facebook page, guys. So make sure you go there. Make sure you subscribe to Eric and Brad Grunberg. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Eric. Love you, buddy.